Hello Internet, I'm Matt Haas. This is Awesome Wood Things. I made some soundproofing hexagons out of pallet wood and towels I had laying around. Want to know how I did it? Stick around, I'll show you.
The process starts by ripping down some boards that came from a shipping pallet. These were in my neighbor's shed for decades and he was going to throw them out but asked if I wanted them. Of course I said yes. Now, shipping pallet boards, they have nail holes everywhere, and you'll see in the end, I only use a small amount of the wood because I only wanted the good pieces, so I had to work around those nail holes. After the boards are ripped to width, I use the crosscut sled to get them close to the size that I'll need them. The table saw blade is set to 30 degrees, and I bring these to the proper length. You can't see it, but I drew a pencil mark on the table saw surface to get each one of these pieces the identical distance. When you're making any type of frame, the angle of the cut and the distance is important to get perfect. Wood glue is all I use to attach these. Wood glue is incredibly strong, much stronger than the wood itself. And then a light sanding. If you're new around here, say hi Matt in the comments. I'd like to meet you. The next operation I do is probably the funnest thing in this whole project. I use the router table to create a rabbet cut around the outside so a backer board can drop in here later. I had to use a special bit that came with different size bearings so you can control just how much material you need to remove. It worked great. And this is ready for primer. I used primer from a spray can because I had that laying around, and then I got blue paint from the paint store to apply with a roller. If you made these for yourself, what color would you use? Let me know in the comments. I chose the hexagon shape because it's one of the only shapes with identical geometry that can fit perfectly next to each other with no gaps showing. Triangles and squares can do this too, but I think hexagons are the most interesting. I use my scroll saw and bandsaw to get the cuts close to the line. You could really use any tools that you have on hand, but the disc sander, that brings it exactly to the line. Now it fits good. These very thin strips will be used to secure the fabric to the outside. You'll see more about that in a moment. I cut the exterior fabric into this shape so it can easily attach to the inside of the frame. I use these thin strips along with staples to secure the fabric to the inside and then pull it tight on each opposite end. But not too tight, you just want it medium tight. At this point, it's just a matter of getting scissors and cutting the rest of the material into strips, and those strips are just laid loosely on the inside. You do not want to compress these, you want them just to lay loose. That's the best for the sound absorption. And speaking of sound absorption, this will be so much better than any commercial product you can buy. There's just something about these soft, fluffy towels that doesn't let the sound out. It just eats the sound. It's incredible. I used a point driver to secure the back. You could also just use wood glue for an easy permanent solution. And that's it. These are ready to hang on the wall just like you would any other piece of framed artwork. If you want step-by-step instructions, see the website Instructables. A link is in the description. And if this was helpful, drop a like. Thanks, Internet.